All right, and it appears we are live. What's up, everybody? It's G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is episode. What episode is this? 87, 88? I believe I just did 87, so it's got to be 88. Let me, Yes. Episode 88, where we are continuing this map design that I've been hammering away at. Last night I left off with some of the third shade of green on this forest, and I'm about to hit it with a little bit more, and then I have a fourth shade of green that I want to get to, and then hopefully get to coloring everything else also. I'm gonna start with markers on everything, and then I'm gonna smooth out transitions with colored pencils. Areas like this area down here where we transition from like the ice to the jungle forest. All of that is gonna be, it's gonna have to like fade and whatever. So it's kind of difficult to blend colors with markers. So I'll do that with the colored pencils later on, but that won't happen. I doubt that's going to be happening on this stream. I'm shutting down my computer right now. Let me shut that down. There we go. Okay. Now I'm here. Now I'm with y'all. Let me drop my camera, get us ready. Are we focused? How does my... Alright. Every time I work in the morning or at night, my screen's always dark because the surrounding area is always so dark. So I always got to make sure that the shot is well lit. What's up, viewer? How you doing? Let me grab my markers. So yeah, I was in the middle of using this marker here, and I kind of was able to get all of this last night. And now now let me just pick up where I was going. I believe that's, yeah. We're good there, we're good there. And because there's so much detail, I'll probably be able to get to some of it a little bit better with color pencil. I'll just grab like a really dark green and then really sharpen out some of these edges. But yeah, I'm super focused on trying to get this one done, get it finished. And there's still a ton of work that needs to be done on it. So, gotta get to it. Let me see. So yeah, I was able to get that. And yeah, I'm surprised at the kind of reactions I've been getting on this. I've always focused on doing character art, like forever. It's what I it's what I enjoy doing. It was what I wanted to do the most, and it wasn't until I started um, just working on my own IP that I realized, oh, you gotta have you gotta have more than character designs in order to create a world, you know? So I started, let me see, is this, keep bumping, sorry. Is this, the green I'm looking for? Yeah. There we go. But yeah, I really appreciate that people have been um, enjoying enjoying it and really liking the everything else that I've been working on as far as maps, environments, even the props. Okay, here we go. Render this out. So yeah, this would have to get done regardless, but the fact that people are enjoying it, the fact that there's a place for stuff like this to be appreciated is feels good, man. As an artist, you study art and things like that, and I always knew like people that their artists exist that maybe only ever painted landscapes, and of course they have their own fans and things like that, and people who enjoyed them. So I guess it makes sense, that people would enjoy this. It's just shocking to me because it's kind of like really don't know too much of what I'm doing. I'm just like really trying to make a map here, something for me to understand, and use it as like some production art for my IP. And anytime if I get confused about a story or where a character is or what's going on in that area, um, I could always refer to the maps that I'm going to be creating. If I include this map with the one that I worked on in the past, since this is only the second map I'm working on, um, how much of the world do I think I've captured? Maybe, so if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so once I get done with this map, I'd say I'm probably 10% done mapping out the world that I've created. I have a rough sketch of what the world is going to look like. And yeah, just looking at it roughly, it's like, okay, I'm good. I'll have about 10% of it done, and you can kind of see why I'm like, yeah, I really want to get this done. Now I want to do my due diligence and do it righteously, do it appropriate. Don't like half step on it at all. Where's my other? I don't know if I hit this area with the second green yet. Oh, Sorry, I'm listening to David Finch talk about his start in the comic industry. No, did I already hit these with this color? There we go. Damn. So yeah, I guess Mark Silvestri opened up a studio and was just hiring artists, and he kind of hung in there. There we go. Let's see, what color is this? May green. May green. That's the color I was just using. That's not that dark. This isn't the same color as that, is it? No way. No way. Maybe it is. Maybe just because it's smaller, it's outputting less ink, so it doesn't look like that color. Okay, maybe I am right. So then, what color is this? Permanent green olive. Is this one? Yes. So amazing. I have these colors lined up in a row like that. Ah, why was I using the fat brush for this? Should have just been using this brush the entire time. Okay. Now what about this? Is this a darker green? Yes, it is. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get this area. Well, you know what? Let me bust out the big marker. If I'm jumping on this now, let's just do it, right? There we go. There we go. There we go. Am I still on camera? Oh, we focused? Yeah. Cool. And again, these will be the areas that I kind of have to blend some more. I'm gonna have to bring in the green down, but later on I'll have to bring the ice up. Um, so yeah, that'll be fun once it's finally done and formed. There we go. Yeah, so I'm watching David Finch. He's a comic book artist, and he recently started a YouTube channel. Recent, using the word recent pretty loosely, and he does like tutorials and things like that. And this is a Frazetta focused tutorial, or just like study and practice, you know. So, if I'm being a little too quiet, it's just because I'm watching that. But I'm a huge fan of Frazetta. I got a ton of books on them. Some of them cost a lot more than you think it would be worth, and then you get it, and you're like, oh, you know what? This was a good investment. Yeah, Frazetta's work is just great, and I love it. I love it for the anatomy and the shading, particularly. That's what I'm always looking at it for. And obviously, I'm gonna aim for my work to be just as good, if not better than his, but of course in my own style. We work in different mediums, so that alone is gonna create a difference. I've been thinking a lot about painting, and yeah, I'll eventually get there. I'm just not in a position financially to doing paintings, but I do see the benefit of like making the works bigger. And I'd say that's the main thing. Like what I'm working on right now, this map, it's it's everything that I like to do. It's 10 inches by 10 inches big. It's all traditional media, which is what I enjoy. But it's in my sketchbook, so I can't watercolor paint it. If I was doing watercolor paints, even if I threw like a sheet of paper below it, the water would just like dampen the book. And don't want to damage your your tools and supplies, you know. So it's like, oh man, because I can't watercolor, and I love the watercolor paint, man. That was something I was doing a lot a few years ago, especially when I was doing conventions, back when conventions were a thing. I think they're coming back. I keep hearing about more and more. Um, there's a WonderCon going on, I think right now, unless it's already over, um, but I think it's all like virtual for right now. But I think WonderCon's actually getting like a lot of like notoriety or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's getting a lot of focus. They had the Justice League stuff with Kevin Smith, and then yesterday they had the Static Shock interview. They had like Phil Lamar, who's the voice of Samurai Jack, and things like that. You know, like they're they're doing it. And it's not like just some hokey thing where it's like, hey, let's just feign doing it. It seems to be like a real effort, which gives me hope. I'd love to get back into doing conventions and Artist Alley and meeting people. The whole thing of what I'm doing now is just to recreate the Artist Alley experience. When I meet people and they see my artwork, live in 3D, like you're looking at it through a video lens that's, you know, uh, the quality of what you're looking at delineates. I'm not working with the best cameras, just because I can't afford it yet. Yet, being the key word. Eventually, I'll get around to it. But yeah, when getting back to doing all this stuff live and with people, and they could see it, it's pretty great, pretty awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to recreate that whole experience with what I'm doing here on Twitch, and then of course, I'm always working on character portraits. Everybody has either their own characters that they've created or characters that they like. You know, Goku, Deku, Naruto, like Sasuke, things like that. Um, Captain America, all that stuff. Uh, they just want to see me do that version of them. I'll draw them a character portrait. So in order to recreate that, that's what I have my Patreon for. If you go to my Patreon, everything there, it's it's just me doing commissions, character portraits for the most part. Um, I've been thinking about adjusting what my Patreon really means and what it stands for, just because, I don't know how convoluted my, I guess, like what the benefits are. Like, I don't know if people are getting confused as to what the benefits are, but the benefits, I mean, obviously the larger tiers get larger portraits and work done. Um, I start off with things from 4 by 6, really small. And then I work my way all the way up to a 20 by 30 inch uh, thing, which would be one of those like illustrations that gets the watercolor painting and now that I'm thinking about painting and everything else like that, and you know I can airbrush and I have acrylics here to do a bit of acrylic work, but I have a system that I work in, all traditional, but like a layering system. And yeah, that's the the type of things that people can expect. But the way that my Patreon and commissions in general are set up is um, it's charged per square inch. So um, obviously the larger the commission, the larger the picture, because but what you're getting per capita is equal. You know, you get what you pay for. So I only charge per square inch. And I've been wondering, because what I do on my Patreon is like, hey, if you become this tier patron, you get these sort of commissions, and then on most of them I offer like other options, because it's like you get a 4x6 or a 5x7, but maybe people don't want two commissions. Maybe they just want one. And I have one coming up that I did, and I gotta draw it. And after speaking with the patron, I we came to the conclusion that they don't want to. They offered for the one of the tiers that they get two drawings, 4x6 and a 5x7, I believe, 5x8, and yeah, 5x7 and a 4x6. And the reason why that is because I want to make the pictures frameable, something that can fit within a frame. That way you're not getting this wonky picture that you have to get matted and have to buy larger frames and things like that. Like, I work in frame sizes, so that way when you get your commission, if it's a digital copy, you could print it out and just boom, fit it into a frame, easy peasy. Um, but some people don't want that. Uh, like this latest patron that I have, they just wanted one character portrait, and I was like, okay. So what I ended up doing was just combining the square inches, and I'll discuss it when I get to working on it. I've already got all the material that I need in order to get started and everything like that. So that's going to be something that I have coming up soon. I'd like to do it later on this week, and of course, I'd like to film it as well. Um, Film it, you mean just live stream it? Um, but yeah, so what I did, instead of giving them the two, I just tallied up the square footage, and I was like, okay, well, I can give you a picture that's this size. So instead of a 4x6 plus a 5x7 of two characters, I believe the way the numbers worked out, I have it written down somewhere, is it's a 6.5 by 9, just of a single character. And it's an equal amount of square inches that they would have been getting with the two portraits had they gone with that option. So I'm very flexible with my Patreon and the tiers and everything like that. I kind of have the options there right now to streamline the work, and like I said, to make it frameable. Because there are no 6.5 by 9 frames. So if I do that picture, that person's going to be forced to print it, because it's a digital copy, unless they choose to go with a traditional one that I have to ship to them. But then, shipping charges and all that other stuff gets involved. Um, so 6.5 by 9, you can't frame that. So you'd have to print it on the next size paper up of, a mass produced frame size, which would be what, like an 8 by 10? You could fit a 6.5 by 9 on an 8 by 10. So you print the paper on an 8.5 by 11. You'd have to shave off the sides, make it 8 by 10, and then you still have the artwork sitting in there. And then like the edges of the page will be blank and be white, but everybody wants different things, so that's why I'm flexible with the portraits. But like I said, right now they're up on there, and it all entails like streamlined sizes, so that way I just do the work, you receive it, and whether it's digital or traditional, it's ready to be framed right away. You can go ahead to any framing shop and you don't even have to order like a custom size frame, which can get really expensive, um, depending. And that's what I want to avoid. I don't want, people to get charged like so much. Like at the end of the day, I'm just making artwork and, for people to hang up on their walls and or, to use as like wallpaper on their phone or something like that or backgrounds on their desktop, like whatever it is. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to um, go over that really quick because, I hope people aren't going to my patron page and getting confused and then they just don't even like reach out to me because of it. If that's the case, I mean, then that's going to be on me to fix it, but I need to know to fix it. So yeah, I'm really excited about this character portrait that I have coming up. Yeah, it's a character that I like, that I'm aware of, and I've always wanted to draw my own version of him. So this is my chance to do exactly that. And yeah, I think it'll work out and be really fun. I watch I watch certain I watch like Jung Ji. Uh, I watch his streams, and he's always working on commissions and things like that. And he charges for the size of the paper, which also makes sense. It's similar to what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Except, he's charging specifically by the size of the paper, it seems like, where I'm just charging by the square inch of the pay or square inch of the work that I'm putting in because I had to learn how do I determine uh one that people are getting what the getting something worth paying for, but also like how can I make sure that I'm uh walking away not losing money, because if I run out of paper and run out of art materials, like I run through all my markers, all the markers dry up, I run through all my paint, I run through all my paper, like I run out of art material and don't have any money, but I did 100, commissions. It's like, oh, okay, so I'm not making money off of the commissions. I at least need to make enough to be able to continue to do it. So it becomes a balancing. It's like a whole business thing. It becomes a balancing act of fair pricing, what people are willing to, pay, and what I can afford. Um, and yeah, I would like to think that in the long run, given enough work, given enough commissions to work on, and I'm gonna need a lot of them. So, anyone listening to this, really, you can really support me and also get something in return for your support. But yeah, I need a lot. Uh, Again, it's all detailed on my Patreon. I wanted to have like uh, clarity. I wanted people to be able to, go to me because I'm fairly unknown to the world. This is my coming out party. So I want people to be able to visit my website, visit everything that I do, visit my social media, and be like, yeah, okay, I get a sense of knowing this guy, and then they're like, I really like his work. I'll give him a shot. You know, hey, draw me Boruto in his whatever form, and it's like, okay, cool, boom, do that, and I was like, oh, okay, that's really good. This guy's dope. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is um, willing and able to prove myself that I'm not some shill. But yeah, it's scary, man. It's scary stepping out as an artist without a company behind them to support them and things like that. Like, it's for sure scary. But there's just a minimum number I need to hit in order to be able to live and support my family. And if I can hit that number, with your help, of course, I mean, talk about a dream come true. I get to I get to work on this. I get to work on portraits and just it's like what I told my brother. My brother moved from Florida to New York recently, and him and I we kind of grabbed our last dinner together. I shouldn't make it sound so sad like our last dinner ever, but it's gonna be our last dinner for a while because moved he moved. We've lived close to each other our entire lives. But now, he's however many states north of me. I'm still in Florida. He's in New York. And, we were having our last dinner with each other for a while. And I, I, I was explaining to him, like, hey, man, anything, as long as I get to put pencil to paper, basically, I'm happy. If I can, if I can earn a living putting pencil to paper, I mean, that's the ultimate goal. That's the end. That's the dream. There we go. Am I still on camera? Are we focused? Yeah. Cool. And that's all I want to do. I want to build this community, talk to people who have the same, who like the same things that I like. You know, anime, manga, comics, movies, cartoons, all that. And recreate that artist alley feeling and experience that I had digitally, so that way I could do it with the world. There's a whole world of people out there who like these things and are into what we're into. Okay, but yeah, as long as I can put pencil to paper, I'm happy. And I mean that not literally, of course. I want to do pencil, inks, markers, painting. I do watercolor, airbrushing, acrylic painting. Um, And in recent years, since I've been looking at Frazetta, I've been considering like stepping up from acrylic paints because they dry faster. Acrylic paints dry, and I have done oil painting, but never professionally, never like on anything serious. I did it as study. I did it as a student and things like that. And it was so far removed from what I was doing at the time because damn, we're talking 10 to 15 years ago. It was when I was doing studying stuff. I guess David Finch is like reviewing people's artwork now. I guess they kind of drew along with him with what he was drawing, that Frazetta stuff, and then now he's reviewing what they drew. That's like some advanced stuff. I don't think I'm there yet to be judging people and giving them pointers on their art. You know, I struggle enough with my own art. And I'm always on here talking about how much of a struggle it is for me to kind of put together these maps and environments and props because they're so unfamiliar to me. Anyone who's watched me work on characters can see how much more comfortable, how much faster I am, you know. And I still wouldn't even be comfortable telling, giving critiques on people's characters, even though I'm fairly confident in my own ability. I wouldn't, I don't think I could step out and be like, this is what you want to do. I don't think I'm there yet. But if anybody wants to ask, if they just care to know, of course I'll do it. Anything to help, right? That's what we're all here for. Okay, I think I think we're good for the most part. I mean, this is really muddy. I knew it was gonna happen, but now that I see it, it's like I wonder if there's anything I could do to sharpen this up without spending my entire day on it, you know? If I'll just have to wait until I get to the micro pen and do it that way, do it there. Hey, what's up, Volcom? What what part's insane? All the shit that I've been saying, or is it is it the artwork? Oh no, because I've been rambling for a while, so it's like, oh no, did I just stick my foot in my mouth? The artwork, all the detail. Yeah, yeah. I kind of been working. Well, it's because I work traditionally with these markers and all that. So yeah, I stick with you kind of got to work small in order to get all those details in. I most of my life I was a pencil illustrator. So when you start with pencils and you try to do all the details in the world with pencils, and then I work with like mechanical pencils to keep that sharp edge. Yeah, it, it's kind of the it's kind of the foundation to everything that I do. I've since then expanded to like brushes and paint brushes and with larger spreading my work larger and everything like that. But yeah, this is a world map that I'm working on. This is just a small portion of it, maybe like 7% of the world map. And so it covers a lot of ground. So we're pretty far zoomed out from the world in order to be able to see all this stuff. And it's just like it's like a legend map, not so much like a really uh, geographically accurate map, but one that's just like this is here, that's there. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to get to this part where the forest starts to disappear. It becomes more like rock. But yeah, Volcom, just to show some of the stuff that I do. Um, I work small just because it's in my sketchbook, but I also do like really large work. I actually prefer to work at like 11 by 17. That's like my preferred scale. So you can imagine the amount of detail that I can get on a large 11 by 17, depending on what it is I'm drawing. Like this is a small 3 by 3 square. Yeah, man. And working with these sharp edges, it just allows me to work small, so I can kind of get my ideas out quick. This is all like concept art and things that I'm working on. Like this is a really zoomed out environment of a really snowy place. It's really messy, but that's one of the more messy ones. But even this, like this character here, I was kind of happy to work on it because it's 5 by 10. For Photoshop streams. I mean, I also work in Photoshop. I don't think I have any live streams that I've done of me working on Photoshop. My digital art is pretty, or streaming my digital art, I should say, is pretty rough just because I don't have the setup to be able to record directly, like screenshot uh, my work. I don't have the hardware to do that just yet. So what I do is I actually turn this camera up to my laptop as I work. I did a vector one recently, so you could check that one out. And but yeah, it's really rough because a computer capturing another computer, it tends to pixelate and the quality kind of downgrades a bit. But everything is still there. But yeah, I prefer working at 11 by 17. But all most of this stuff that I do here is like 3 by 3. Yeah, I did this one pretty recently when they revealed Kaido, and then when Super Saiyan 4 Goku or Gogeta, sorry, um, was popped up on the video game on Dragon Ball Fighters. So yeah, thanks, man. So yeah, I do a bunch of work that's this is just my sketchbook. So I'm just trying to get see like this is a full page one, and I didn't do too many black inks just because I wanted the letters to pop all from the character. And if I had started coloring the character in, or even lining them up with too much black, it would have been too much. But yeah, what I've done with these things since then is because these are all sketches. Is I do bring them into Photoshop to touch them up, and then before I drop them on my website because this is all concept artwork for IP that I'm working on. And then obviously these are just kind of like character portraits because you know people commission me for character portraits. So it's kind of like I just do them. These aren't the actual commissions. These are just me working on my thing. Um, but yeah, this will be like another full page one. And this is still only like 8.5 by 13 or 13.5 by 8.5. I forget the exact scale measurements. Um, I wanted to when I started working on Twitch. I wanted to make emotes. I just didn't know how to do it exactly. Like I know how to create emotes, but I don't know the steps in Twitch cuz I was like I'm able to make emotes for my channel, right? So people can get emotes from me or something like that. I need to watch that like video that Twitch has and like how to make emotes and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd love to. I know it's like you have to make a drawing of a certain size that's digital and this, that, and the other. And that was kind of the plan. I just haven't had any offers and I haven't had any ideas. I kind of just been hammering away at working on this stuff. So yeah, I'll have to watch that emote video again because I know what they are. I've watched other people make them, and I was like, oh, is that all there is to it? And then I was like, I'll make them for my channel eventually. But I don't know if emotes are one of those things that you have to like be at a certain level on Twitch in order to make them or something like that. Like I don't know if you have to be an affiliate or a partner or anything like that. So yeah, at the moment I just go ham on the traditional art. But yeah, I'd love. Just need affiliate. Yeah. So I guess that's why I haven't made any for myself yet is just because I'm not affiliate status yet. I just started this channel, what, 2, 3 months ago. So, um, I'm still in the process of building. Yeah, exactly. You know what? Let me write that down. I'm sure it's in there, but uh, 28 by 28, or I'll just write 28, 56, and 112. I knew about the 56 when I watched another artist making them, and before I started the Twitch channel or when I started it, I was kind of looking in like, okay, what's everything that I could do because I'm an artist and I want to be a part of the community and contribute to it and everything like that. So I was like looking into it, and yeah, I watched an artist like kind of create them, and I was like, oh, I could do that all day. It's exactly what I do. But yeah, I guess the reason why I put the kibosh on that was just because I was like, oh, I'm not affiliate status just yet. Still building uh, following, followership, fellowship, whatever you call that. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to make emotes for people. I wouldn't know how to advertise it. Is that something I should probably advertise on like Fiverr and Patreon? Because right now I advertise character portraits. Because that's kind of what I'm doing here. But should I add like a some emote things to my Fiverr and then some emote options for Patreon? I have one person that might be interested, and then he could bring you other people, I guess, just depending on pay. Okay. Yeah, sounds interesting, man. Shoot them over to my channel, man. I'm G Mr. Drew, G Mr. Drew on all social platforms, man. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Uh, yeah. So if you found me here, you just look at my name here. That's gonna be my name everywhere. gmrdrew.art is my website. You can kind of see a lot of the stuff that I've done there over the years. Okay. But yeah, I remember when I started this channel, I was like, I'm gonna kill it. I was like, I'm gonna bust my ass. I'm gonna do all the artwork in the world. This is before I learned, like, oh no, there's steps and there's a whole process to this. You gotta kind of grow a following, which is proving to be a lot more work than I initially thought. And then, which is fine. I get it. But yeah, everything's just taking, a little bit more time. Like I said, I'm just starting out, so I'm learning as I go. They're all also small streamers. Yeah. You know, I got onto Twitch because of this dude that I watched on YouTube, and I said, you know what? Let me go check him out live. Maximilian dude. I found him on, when he was doing his Final Fantasy VII stuff when the remake dropped last year, and that's when I found out about him. And then that's when it was through him that I found Twitch, and then I saw what he was doing, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'd love to do this with my art. And I was very naive. From the streamers I peaked at till I reached you, you deserve so much more viewers. I appreciate that, man. I mean, I don't know what else I could do. I try to promote myself without being too like sleazy about it. But yeah, I really I agree. But I figure it just takes time. It's like anything else in the world, you know? You kind of got to build up things. When I professionally, um, I've always lacked in the social aspect of business. Not to sound like cruddy about it. Harder now than 5 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a ton of work to it, but it doesn't seem like I need to tell you that. You seem to know more about this stuff than I do, which is cool, man. That's exactly kind of what I need is, um, I just come on here and I just start doing artwork, but I know that I need to get better at kind of hosting the channel and having a bit of a presence and offering a little bit more than just drawing silently. So I try to like monologue my way through it until I have enough people to join and talk to. Kind of like how we're doing, how I can kind of just go back and forth with you. Um, I was thinking like, oh yeah, this will be great because I do conventions in Artist Alley back when that was a thing. I was like, this will be great. This will be like a convention but digital, and we'll be talking. I'll be talking to people all the time, and it's like it's proven like okay, I need to really hunker down and get people in order to be able to speak and for us to talk about things like comics and anime and movies and TV shows and all that. So I'm learning. Um, but yeah, it sounds like we're on the same page, man. I, I'm really the only person that I know who's on Twitch. So like people in my social circle really don't know about this stuff, and I guess they really don't care because I bring it up to them, and they're just like, "Oh, cool," and then they move on with their life, and it's like, okay. And it's like, nah, nah, like you should join it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, honestly. And they're like, nah, we're on Facebook. We watch the Facebook gaming stuff. I'm like, it's the same exact thing, except it's on a platform that's dedicated to it. Where Facebook, I guess, is well, Facebook is Facebook. It does what it does. How dark is this? Uh, all right. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Volcom. I ain't going anywhere. I'll still be here for a while. I'm only an hour in. It's funny, man. You hear people in life talk about uh, just do what makes you happy, and then all the pieces will fall into place. And I've heard that, as much as anybody, I would guess. Like you hear it a lot, and you hear it often, and you do see happy people out there. You do see like those people exist, people who are doing what they love, and they're successful from it. And but you also see a lot of people who look at them and they're like, how do they do it? I just need a, I just need to figure it out. And then you're always told, just do what you love. It'll come together. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, man. You know, I I I was extremely unhappy living my professional life. Oh, he's back. You good with like digital artwork, Photoshop, etc.? Yeah, yeah. Like I said, my website gmrdrew.art. You hit up the illustration page, and then there's digital illustrations in there, and all that stuff is like 10 years old for the most part. But even stuff in there is like pretty dope. Um, but yeah, I still do it to this day. I've done graphic design for the past 10 years, so I'm really good with Photoshop and Illustrator. Super comfortable with it, super good with it. It's just like I said, filming it or streaming it just isn't really the best option. So I don't stream it too much. But when I'm done with streams, like when I'm done streaming this here, I'll pop on the laptop and start working on stuff there. But I won't be streaming it just because you know it's super rough to have a computer recording a computer screen. There we go. This is that. This is that. Let's get fire. And same thing here. Okay. But yeah, so I've been wanting to stream more digital stuff just to do it, you know? Kind of like what I did here. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You know, I might just say fuck it and record more digital stuff. Um, Regardless of how rough it is. I figure the people whose attention I'm trying to get anyways, people who I'd like to work with and, you know, associate myself with are going to know what I'm doing regardless of the quality of the video. You know, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, this guy definitely knows how to use Photoshop because I'm watching him do it." Even though I'm watching him do it on a really crappy quality video that's not like 4K or anything like that. He clearly knows how to do it. And then once I can afford to step my game up and afford better hardware, um, yeah, that'll be the ticket for me to go and do that. But the more recent digital stream I did, that was on Illustrator. That was like Vector. I do plan on bringing that into Photoshop so that I can like kind of render it out a little bit more. So I'm just gonna finish doing the flats in Vector or in Illustrator, and then I'm gonna size it to the size that I need, bring it into Photoshop, work it on work on it in there a little bit, and then bring it back into Illustrator to finalize it. Because that piece is gonna be for some merch that I'm working on. You know, I drew that sketch or that character thing a while back, and I was looking at the shape, and because I've been putting together merch, I was like, oh, you know what? This would make a good pair of leggings, you know, a good design to fit on a pair of, you know, leggings for girls. And so yeah, I plan on doing that. So whenever I finish it, the Illustrator portion of it, I'll drag it over to Photoshop, and yeah, you can see me do some Photoshop stuff. There was things that I did. Where is it? Um, like I drew this one the other day, and you know, I used it for my Patreon page for my $1 tier. You know, because Chopper has that. Chopper has the biggest bounty, so I was like, oh, for the $1 tier, I'll just make it the Chopper wanted poster. And yeah, I jumped on Photoshop to touch, you know, to edit it up and touch it up just a bit. Um, and I was wondering if I should be doing stuff like that on the stream as well, just to demonstrate the digital art, and the digital art process and all that. Cause yeah, if I could do that, and you know, people will more or less enjoy it. You know, it'll be more well received than not well received. Then yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that stuff, man. What color is this? This is a bit darker, a bit redder. Oh, it's not even darker, but it is redder, which is good. That's what I need. Okay. Yeah, man, it's super cool of you, Volcom, to stop by and kind of take, I don't know, the initiative that you've taken. I really appreciate it, man. Really, I just really appreciate the kind words and everything like that. Volcom, I love that. I think I have some Volcom shorts that I wear still. I think they're. Go. Yes, I wonder. Yeah, now that we're talking about emotes and pricing, I wonder what pricing would be on emote. I'd have to look into it. Um, just earlier in the stream, I was talking about how I price out my traditional stuff that I work on, and it's all done by square inch. Because I'm gonna put the same amount of effort and I'm gonna use the same materials when I work. You know what I mean? In the traditional media or even digital media, obviously, but in obviously Photoshop is forever. Well, you can't run out of Photoshop. I guess you could run out of a subscription or something, but uh, it's not like a marker that dries out or runs out of ink. There's not a finite life to it. Um, and yeah, for my traditional work, I charge per square inch. So I'd have to look into the actual sizes of these 28s, 56s, and 112s. Um, I'll probably, I'll look into them, do a little bit of research, and see what the quality difference in those things would be in scale. Because I may want to, as far as like a 72 or a 75 DPI. I like to work at 75 instead of 72. It's weird. 75, a 150, or a 300 DPI. Because obviously that'll play with the size of the file and the size of what I'm working on and the amount of detail that I can get in. Because if it's detail that we're talking about and we want to be able to capture the detail in the emote, we may have to work at 300 or, yeah, 300 DPI. So if I'm doing a 112 by 112 at 300 DPI, depending on the size of that, I may just do the same type of charge of per square inch. And let's say it's something tiny, like you know, let's say it's 3 inches by 3 inches, like my uh, like this picture here. Let's say a 112 by 112 at 300 DPI is 3 inches by 3 inches, and I get to do something like this. It may only I may only charge like $15 for something like that. Again, I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I'd have to actually look into it. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, sweet man. Yeah, I made my name a long time ago. Detail really isn't huge since it's a small ass picture. That's what I figured. So it's gonna be more about it's almost like sprite art at that point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I watch some streamers and I see those things flying across the screen all the time. So yeah, basically it'd be about working at those things and then making them clear. Which yeah, absolutely I could do it. So yeah, even if they're super small, like you know, I don't think I would charge too much for them. You know, I'm talking like $10, $10 a pop. Again, don't hold me to it. I'll have to like look into it. But that's kind of, that's what I'm thinking. And then I imagine, I know that like people talk about them in like packages, like they'll release like a whole pack of emotes rather than just a single individual one. So I may want to like advertise them as like a whole package deal. Like you get 5 emotes at this price. That way, not that I'm adverse to receiving a $10 payment, but it's like if you can get I don't know, 7 emotes for $50, let's say. Just stuff like that. Just creating a package deal for it, because that's the whole key to everything that I've done. 100 for one emote? Hell yeah, man. Like if someone did 100 for one emote, like you can guarantee that that shit will get done. Get done and with the quickness, you know. Like I said, I've been doing graphic design, or like I'm a self-taught graphic designer, and I worked all my way up to like training people, and I've worked in every aspect of print, from screen print to dye sublimation to vehicle wraps. Um, so yeah, like my digital artwork is, I have all the confidence in it, especially like Photoshop and Illustrator, like we're talking about. So like I could turn around projects with the quickness. And if we're talking about things as small as like an emote is, like I could do all that stuff quick. I feel like I'd be robbing people if if I did an emote for $100 and I bust out 10 emotes in a day, make a quick $1,000. That'd be insane. Oh, what happened to my stream? Did YouTube just crash on me? You get an Amber Alert, and then YouTube crashes. You suck at Photoshop? I'm pretty good at it, man. I'm self-taught on all that stuff. I got my degree in animation, but there wasn't much like, and we're talking 11 years ago. So 11 years ago in the animation industry, there wasn't like many classes on Photoshop or Illustrator or anything like that. So all my Photoshop and illustration, I learned just on the job, doing graphic design stuff. And like I said, I did that for 11 years, all the way up to becoming a print specialist and all that other stuff, and handling giant clients like the Hyatt Hotel and Lego and uh, the Marriott, working with like these giant companies. That's funny about the name. I G Mr. Drew was a name that was given to me just from YouTube when I started my YouTube channel. I don't know how long ago. Uh, Damn. However long ago I started my YouTube channel. It could be 15 years ago. It could be 12 or 10 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, same thing. G Mr. Drew, they gave it to me. I was like, you know what? No one's ever gonna use that name. It's a pretty garbage name, but at least it's unique enough, and it relates to me enough. Get into it for like 2 months, then I'm out for 6 months, so it's just keep forgetting everything. Ah, yeah. That'll happen, man. But it's cool. Yeah, I struggled with YouTube in the beginning, or YouTube, Photoshop in the beginning as well. Sorry, I'm trying to get my YouTube back up after, I don't know why the stream stopped. Oh well. Oh, there we go. Is it connecting back up again? Is it picking up where it left off? Oh, but it lost all of mine. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, I've been working in Photoshop since forever, and I'm still like learning things. I still learn something new. I watch a ton of artists all the time. You know, obviously, since digital artwork is taken off. Um, so yeah, I'm always learning stuff, and then I just apply it, and then it becomes another piece of my repertoire, and then um, yeah, most recently, do I have? I wonder if I could pull up that picture. My most recent picture, because I haven't done like a digital illustration in like 10 years. I had a computer crash on me back in 2013, and you know, I'm a super poor broke artist, and I didn't get a laptop until last year. So I did 7 years with no computer. And, so I wasn't doing digital art, obviously, at that point. And pretty recently, I think I sent it from this email. I wanted to see if I can pull it up. Oh, you know what? No, it was done in the other email. So where's my sent folder? And so yeah, I'm gonna pull up this picture. I'll show you. It's on my phone. So I don't know. It's loading right now. It may load. Oh no, there we go. So hopefully this isn't too rough of an image, but this was for a this was for a Bloodborne contest that VodiVidya was hosting, and this was my submission. And you know, it's not as colorful. Yeah, it's not as colorful as I like the work, but because it's Bloodborne, I muted the colors a bit because everything Bloodborne and Demon Souls and Dark Souls and all that, Sekiro, there's not too much color to it all. It's all really, you know, really muddy, really gray, really black. So I said, you know what, let me mute the colors down. But yeah, this is pretty representative. This is another one. Where's the inks for that? Because that was one that I started. Here we go. That's this drawing. So I started it with pencil and ink, and then I was gonna color it traditionally. But I said, you know what? It's been so long, and I know that I'm gonna do digital touch up. So I said, let me just, I'll scan this in, and then I just colored it, shaded and colored it completely digitally, and again muted the colors. So yeah, that's you can see here. And yeah, this is the actual digital file itself. It's 11 by 17, 300 DPI. It's print ready. It's ready to go. You know, so I submitted it to the contest. Again, I'm just trying to market myself and do whatever I can. And I'm a fan of VodiVidya and his videos. So him hosting a contest and possibly putting together an art book. Thanks, man. I work hard at this. This is what I do, you know? This is absolutely what I do. I've been drawing I mean, I'm 32 years old, and oh yeah, this, you know what? I've been looking at it through the screen here. I just looked at it on on my phone. It looks so much better. Like you could actually like this is obviously really really rough. But after the contest is done, and you know, I'll probably end up posting this online, but I don't want to post it until, until the contest is done and all that other stuff. I have a low resolution version of it on my Instagram. Ooh. Yeah, but the low res version is really low res and really pixelated. I didn't want to like reveal too much about it until like I said, until like after the contest is done. Stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. That's kind of why I did this. I was like, and that's why I joined Twitch, was because I know that this is a community of gamers primarily, but the community also expands out to like anime and DC and Marvel and just movies in general. And me being a animation major and a guy who wants to direct his own animations, that's actually what I'm working on here with this map. It's world building for my story. Uh, so you're right, man. I think you're the second person on Twitch to call me insane. And I'll take that as a compliment. But yeah, like this part of the map, um, I don't share too much about my story because obviously I need to still keep something secret. But one map that I did a couple months ago, uh, here I'll show you, just just for the sake of telling the story. So I did this map, and this is the first map I've ever worked on in my life. So it's kind of rough, but it was simple, and it's a simple part of the world. So I said, you know what? I'll start with the most simplest. That way, I could struggle and learn at the same time and get better at it. And then once I get to the more important parts of the map, I'll have enough experience to do it well. So I did this, right? This little icy place. And this icy place, this is a world map that I did a couple years ago or 3 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was now, but years ago. And that icy place is just like this part of the map. And I still have all of this map to go to. And the one that I'm working on now is this land bridge that connects to it. So what I'm working on now is kind of like, here. It's like this much. So you can see it's like significantly bigger. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I had to create a world map because of the story that I was telling, and I have my character going here and going there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need to draw a map and map all this out. So yeah, here's the landmass, and then it connects on the right side of this square, and where, where is it? There we go. And that square is about this part. That's why I didn't like finish out this part, because that's what's on the last map. That's why it picks up with the ice down here. And I'm only not even halfway through this map just yet. So it picks up here, and then this is that landmass that I was just talking about, and kind of goes up this way. No, this is. I mean, it could be a video game one day, but nah, it's for a manga that I want to put together, and then for animations. My end goal is to animate my own animations. So what I did was I wrote a story and I kind of incorporated anything and everything that I wanted to work on my entire life. So it became a really big story. I wrote it for like 5 years. We're talking a few years ago now. Right up until last year, I was still writing it. So I got this story written out. And super complex. It follows one character. Every story has one main character, of course, so it follows one main character. But I have 400 characters altogether, and it spans about 40 years worth of, so you're kind of following this character throughout his life. And, so there's a whole world that goes along with it. So after I pieced it all together, like I could show you this. Oh yeah, I forgot that I could zoom in on this digital. So yeah, either way, you can kind of see colors and stuff. Anyways, what I was gonna show you were these. So this is that world map. I colored it in and kind of just got like, okay, this is where the ice is, this is where the deserts are, this is all that stuff. So I created this world map. And then I have all these thumbnails drawn up of environment studies that I did because I wasn't an environment artist. And then I just started sticking those thumbnails, like I cut them out. Um, and then I stuck them over the map. And I was like, okay, this place is going to be here. This place is going to be there. And then I also associated the characters, these rough concepts that I did, these rough sketches that I did of these characters. And I stuck those characters onto those locations to say, okay, this is the character that's associated with that location. Think of it like friends or foes that you meet. But yeah, very much like a video game. So yeah, that's so yeah, this is all for an animation at the end of the day. Right now I'm just in the concept work stage. So that's why I've been working on concept art. Like, this is one of the characters that's there. And then like this guy, he's actually within this land that I'm working on now. Like this is kind of where he lives. Uh, that was for the contest. And then this character as well is a part of the land that I'm working on now. So that way I could work on all the concept art, environments, props, and characters all, in chunks. So as I build out the world, I build out everything else, and it all kind of comes together. And then once I'm done with the concept art stage, I'm you know, I'll script out a manga or a comic book, whichever way you want to look at it, and start start just working on a manga. And that's what the whole Patreon's about and everything else that I have going on. And once I get to that'll be stuff that I only share with like patrons and things like that, because obviously it'll actually be work. Like this is all concept art. I don't mind sharing this. This is part of the whole marketing strategy, I guess. And yeah. There we go. So yeah, I'm doing this whole rollout, but at the end of the day, I'm creating a product, and I'm a big fan of mangas, and if you watch anime at all, uh, you'll know like all the animes are based off of mangas, and mangas are created by an artist, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just an artist who's created something, and I want to share it with the world. My Patreon kind of details it all as far as like goals and steps and where I'm at and everything else like that. I kind of just told you, but it's all there. And yeah, Twitch is just going to be the platform in which I can kind of broadcast this out into the world. I backlog these videos and then I upload them to my YouTube eventually. But, I might stream 3 times in a day, and like I did yesterday. And then I only upload one video to YouTube a day. So what ends up happening there is like my YouTube is pretty far behind my Twitch channel, but that's perfectly fine with me. I'd rather, uh, socialize with you guys live and things like that. Okay. Oh, that's right. Where is this? But yeah, it's very much like all that stuff, man. I'm a huge fan of Zelda. I stopped playing video games a long time ago, just because I had to like focus on artwork and making a living and all that stuff. Uh, so I was like, you know what? I'll Video games will be one of those things that I get back to, one day when I could actually afford it. But yeah, I mean, and all the sources of inspiration that I have, like you better believe that Zelda has inspired me. You better believe, video games inspire me, like Metal Gear and Street Fighter, like I'm into all that shit. I love that shit. So, I'm just I'm here doing it, man. I'm here to do it, here to make it happen. And yeah, just wanna people do enjoy it. Oh shit, that's a sick drawing. And I appreciate you stopping by and enjoying this for what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna be at this for a long time. Also, this isn't like, oh, I'm gonna work on it and then in 6 months I'll be done. Like I plan on doing this for the next, like in my head I see it as 30 years. Like to do everything and tell the whole story and reveal everything. Like just because production takes so long. And right now I'm just one man. One man on a mission. But hopefully one day this becomes something bigger than myself. And I thought Twitch would be a neat way to do that. Like I said, Maximilian dude was the one who brought me over to Twitch. Just watching him, so I see what he does, and it's like, oh man, how dope would that be? How great would that be to do what I love, broadcast it to the world, and be able to make a living off of it? The man just had a baby. He's starting a family, and it's like, dude, like to be able to start a family and you're a Twitch streamer, a video game enthusiast. That's inspiring as hell to me. And I'd love to equally inspire people as well. People could look at me and be like, dude, you just have to sit there and draw pictures all day, you know, work on uh, character portraits and work on your own art and this, that, and the other. And you can make a living that way. Like, I want people tripping out over artists making a living like this, like how people trip over video game people making a living. All right, I feel like I need to. I wonder if I should just get these rainbows out of the way. Was it Roy G. Biv, right? So, all right, let me grab my Roy G. Biv colors. R O. Y. G. B. Indigo. What would be a good indigo? Too dark, so yeah. And I wonder if I'm just gonna start them, or if I'm just gonna do the whole thing. Alright, so yeah. So yeah, it's gonna fall on the line. Yeah, I might as well just do the whole thing then. So yeah, man, thanks Volcom. You gave me something to think about as far as the emotes go and things like that, because it's something that I have thought about in the past, but I think when and we're talking a couple months ago when I realized, oh, I got to become an affiliate, and I'm not there yet. I kind of just stuck that idea in my back pocket, and I'm just started grinding, and I was just like, all right, path to affiliate, here we go. And then once I'm there, I'll start looking more heavily into what I could do. Because I mean, my ultimate goal is to make this one hell of an experience. I want people to look forward to coming to my channel. The artwork's nice, but I also want it to be a little bit more than that. A community for people to get together and we could all talk and learn from each other. Like, I'm already learning so much stuff from people. There we go. ROY. Yeah, I didn't know if this, I didn't know this double rainbow was gonna be so fly. Try to learn more with Photoshop? Okay. Yeah, I'm always talking my way through my process. So yeah, even when I work digitally, um, I'll be sure to share what I'm doing while I'm doing it. Here we go. And hopefully that'll be enough, to show you how to do certain things and learn neat tricks. And then and yeah, if you ever catch me live while I'm doing one, for sure ask me questions, Hey, what'd you do there? Or how would you do this? And, I've given brief tutorials while I'm working live. Someone asked about how to draw hands, so I drew hands for them real quick, and then how to draw faces. I showed them how to draw a face real quick. Just giving like quick pointers. So uh, I mostly watch GTA, small streamers, and they would love some good ass emotes. And then it grows from there. Wow, the GTA streams, huh? Uh, RP. What is RP the new GTA? Didn't they drop something recently? And recently, I mean like within the past year. Um, I think I remember like even on like Xbox presentation or something like that, or maybe it was a PlayStation presentation. And they showed some GTA 5 stuff, but I think it was like a patch or an update or something like that. Role play. Okay. I haven't considered that. I'll I'll uh I'll tack that onto my channels that I watch or that I follow. And yeah, I'll jump on from time to time and see what they're doing. I was always a fan of GTA back when I was playing games. The only ones I played were GTA 3 and GTA Vice City. And then San Andreas came out and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it available. And I think this is before digital gaming was a thing. And then it's a private server, no pixel. XQC Summit Hassan, etc. plays it right now. All the big streamers. Okay. And that's the online joint, right? That you get to play with other people online and you get to like rob banks together and things like that. I always liked the GTA art style too. Like just like the cover art that they have. So yeah, all that digital stuff and that style art, some like grungy people, criminals. That's like right up my alley. Yeah, because you better believe within this world I've created, I got some criminals. got some got some fun characters. So that's the indigo and violet. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta go make another cup of coffee. I'm kinda... Yeah, I gotta go brew some coffee. Let me finish this line. I'll finish this line. And then... Ooh, okay. Thankful for a steady hand. But there's so much people that I have 10 to 20 viewers, and I bet they would pay for some quality emotes. For sure, man. Hell yeah. Um, we'll definitely have to set that up. I'll definitely have to do those things. Give me a second, I'll be back. I'm just gonna go put on a pot of coffee. It'll take like just 2 seconds for it to brew for 15 minutes. Give me a second. All right. I'm back. 10 to 20 viewers, and I bet they would pay for some quality emotes. Yeah. Whitelisted to join. Okay. Here, let me put these colors back. Yeah, it all sounds interesting. I'll look into the emote thing, like I said, and then yeah, maybe for like the what were the sizes? The 112 being the biggest size. Yeah, I mean, if you think people will pay $100 for a 112 by 112, I'll certainly do that, and then I'll just delineate the price by size. So like the 56, what you do for 75, and then the 28 do for $50 or something like that. I'll start that. I'll tack that on to my Patreon and my Fiverr. Try to get drive traffic over there that way, and then yeah, I think might be a whole new avenue, man. Oh, okay. Now that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, then you would just do $100 for an emote. Yeah, 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 yeah. So then you're technically getting three. All right. Okay, so now $100 makes sense because yeah, that's going to be some work to make. When you design something. Yeah, that makes sense. That that it'll that it costs that much because yeah, $30. I mean, if you're getting three items for $100, you're looking at $33 a pop. Minus time, the time that it takes to make it. So yeah, all right. See, that sounds fair, man. It sounds super fair. So yeah, and honestly, that kind of relieves me because I'm like, oh, I'll have to keep in mind of three sizes. But if it's always three sizes, no, that's automatically, calculated in to the whole process, which is convenient. Yeah, I'll set that up. I'll work on that today, actually, when I'm done with this stream. I'm usually streaming for like 2 to 3 hours at a time. I mean, I've gone crazy and done like 6 hour streams in the past, but I like to break them up. Now that I'm kind of getting used to it, it's like, okay, I'll do 2 hour stream or 3 hour stream. And we're coming up on 2 hours now. And since I got the coffee brewing, I might call it a day for now, and I'll be back on in a couple hours. I always, like I said, I always gotta like pop on the computer and then check a few things, check emails, check commissions and things like that. See where I'm at with everything. And then once I'm done with that, I pop back on here and then I'll continue working on this. It's a whole schedule. And then yeah, I get people like Gabriel often coming in here. Always offering me some great big follows. But no thanks. No thanks, Gabriel. I'm kind of one of the special types that likes to hustle hard and earn each individual. And actually have like a personal connection with everyone. I'll always know Volcom as that guy who really broke down emotes for me. Okay. But yeah, every individual that follows me, man, or for the most part, most of them, that's another thing that I like about Twitch. Even the slow roll of just having a few followers is like, I get to know them. I kind of I know their deal. I know what they're about. You know, then I won't see them for like a week or two, and then they pop back in, and we talk. We just catch up. I love this whole setup. Like I said, it's just like going to a convention, like when I'm doing Artist Alley stuff at a convention. There we go. Oh, is Finch ending his stream now? Yep. What I got coming up, fighting the kid. Okay, so clouds. I'd ban them. you, you know, I probably should, but I never get the same one twice. Like they just kind of pop in, throw those in there. I wonder. Oh, okay. So if I just hold down on their name, options pop up, and then ban user. Damn, interesting. Reason. Uh, what would be the reason? What do you call that? Like ads or something? Robot robot ads. Oh, look at that. It's the first time for everything. Shit ton of bot accounts. Damn. Do you see that message too? That message that comes up? That's aggressive. Like I see it says message deleted, and then at the bottom it says now banned from this channel. I don't know if everyone in the chat gets to see that or not. That's aggressive. I am authoritative. I run shit here. uh, but yeah, I never got the same robot twice. Like it's always a different one every time. So they'll just be back tomorrow with a different name. You know, it'll be Gabriel today, and then it'll be a flock of seagulls tomorrow, and then it'll be you know Vicky the next day, and it's like really. So yeah, it's a lot of energy. No, only you mods see that. Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not mod status yet. I don't have any mods. Not yet. Hopefully I can handle 14 followers on my own. Maybe when I start reaching those crazy echelons of, hundreds or thousands, then it's like, all right. Let me get someone I trust in here. Let me get Volcom. He knows how I roll. He knows what's appropriate and what's not. Get those fucking robots out of here. There we go. All right. Let me see what color do I have next. This is 4. This is 3. So yeah, I'll grab 3. Are they talking about Florida? All right. But yeah, I run into bots more often than I run into people. Got to the point where I I just talk to them. but of course they don't respond. Yeah, just a part of the robot uprising, all that all that good stuff. Didn't I have? So, there we go. Okay, yeah, they were in Florida. Sorry, I'm listening to a podcast and they're talking about all these. Everyone has a blowout ass. I'm like, oh, they got to be talking about Florida. I'm in South Florida, so that's why it caught my attention. I'm like, I was like, oh yeah, you come to Florida, man. Everyone has a blowout ass down here, especially the more south you go. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. Clouds are coming along. Oh yeah, they definitely talking about Florida. They talking about Wynwood now. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to touch up these clouds and later on. Here we go. Oh wait, I'm not done yet. Number three. It's those clouds. Get these clouds. Have you heard of the new Neuralink from Elon Musk? Uh, I mean, I'm sure I heard of it, but I mean, I don't know about it too much. That's the thing he was talking about with like a chip in your brain, and people were kind of tripping out a little bit. They were like, "Yo, Elon Musk crazy." But yeah, I've been thinking because people been talking about FTPs a lot lately, or wait, NFTs, FTP, NFTs lately, and I was wondering, like, I wonder if I just want to make a few and just make them for like $1 million and never care about them ever again. And if anyone's dumb enough to ever buy them, just like okay, like make a cool mill that way. And I was thinking like, what would I do a picture of? Because it's gonna be a one and done picture that I kind of have to throw away. Um, It certainly wouldn't be anything like this that I'm working on. And I was just like, what if I did a picture of Elon Musk doing like some flame on shit, you know? Let me see. Yeah, I'll probably have to jump back on and check that out later. What's that video called? I'll just look it up and add it to my playlist here. You know, I always for the most part I usually turn on YouTube. It's either I turn on Twitch or I turn on YouTube, and then I'll just like play things. And like I got YouTube on today, and I just throw on all my podcasts and everything, let them play in the background while I just do my day. But what? Do I just look up like Elon Musk reveals new details about the Neuralink? His plan. Okay. So okay, yeah. See, I remember watching clips of it on the Joe Rogan Experience. That's probably where I heard about it. What if I change this to sort by upload date? I'll just look it up. Reveals. There we go. Oh, it is the JRE clip. There we go. Yeah, let me turn it up. What is it?
If someone ultimately does get a Neuralink installed, what will typically use?
Well, for putting one of the devices, it would be basically implanted in your skull. So but it would be flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there.
Yeah, I remember him talking about this.
You put the electrode, you insert the electrode threads very carefully into the brain, and then you stitch it up, and you wouldn't even know that somebody had. And then
I'd be worried about the DMC stuff, you know?
interface basically anywhere.
YouTube always be catching me when I upload these videos, when I backlog them onto my YouTube.
Like give you reverse your eyesight, even if you lost your optic nerve,
Really?
Yeah. Hearing, obviously. I mean, pretty much anything that it could, in principle, fix almost anything that is wrong with the brain. And it could restore limb functionality. So if you've got interface into the motor cortex and then implant that's, say,
You know, Elon be talking so low anyways.
in your muscle groups, you could then create sort of a neural shunt that restores somebody who's a quadriplegic to full functionality. Like they can walk around,
Whoa. So,
Whoa.
slightly better.
Over time.
You mean with future iterations?
Like, $6 million a minute. Although
Right.
these days that doesn't make
That's
much.
cheap.
Yeah.
$6 billion
Yeah.
man. So the hole would be small. How big would the hole be that you have to drill and then replace with this piece? So
Yeah.
one hole?
Well,
Of course, people are going to be hesitant at first.
is about
drilling holes in their babies' heads and or their own
Your
head.
skull's pretty thick, by the way. So skulls are.
Mine is, for sure.
Gotta let a few people do it first.
Um,
It's just like this vaccine issue, you know? Let some other people do it.
Skulls it's like 7 to 14 millimeters.
We'll watch it play out.
What happened? You know,
And then once a lifetime of it passes, then it'll just become a regular thing, or it'll disappear in obscurity.
we got fine coconut gun. It's not like some eggshell.
Oh, yeah, I believe you.
So basically implant the device.
And so it would be like a 1 inch square? Or
Uh,
1 inch in diameter?
yeah, like a
So an inch circle, like a circle?
yeah, think like a smartwatch or something
Oh.
like that. Or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you take this 1 inch diameter, like ice fishing, right? You ever go ice fishing?
No, I don't do.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
So you basically take an auger and you drill through the surface of the ice
Yeah.
and you create a small hole and then you dump your line in there. So this is like that. You're ice fishing on top of your skull and then you
Yeah. If you replace that, say 1 inch diameter piece of the skull with this Neuralink device.
You're down, man, huh?
That has a battery and a Bluetooth and an inductive charger, and then you also got to insert the electrodes. So the electrodes are very carefully inserted with our robot that we developed. That's very carefully putting the electrodes and avoiding any veins or arteries, so it doesn't create trauma.
so through this 1 inch diameter
Yeah.
device, electrodes be inserted and they will find their way.
Like tiny wires, basically.
Tiny wires.
Tiny wires.
And they'll find their way to specific
Tiny
to
wires.
stimulate.
No, you literally put them where they're supposed to go.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you can set
How
them.
long will these wires be?
They usually go in depending on where it is, like 2 or 3 millimeters.
So they just find the spots.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you put the device in, and that gets that replaces the little piece of skull that was taken out, and then
You gotta think though, if you could drill holes underneath California successfully,
and that's it.
Will this
I
be
mean,
replaceable or
it's not
reversible?
too far of a stretch to think that he might be able to drill holes in a skull
And what is the
successfully.
besides restoring limb function?
You know, they already drill
eyesight,
holes in
these are
people's
all
heads,
amazing.
so.
Is there any cognitive benefits you anticipate from something like this?
You know, all sorts of surgeries and things like that.
I mean, basically, it's a generalized sort of thing for fixing any kind of brain injury in prosthetic people, or if you've got like severe epilepsy or something like that, it's just sort of stop the epilepsy from occurring. Like you can detect it in real time and then fire a counter pulse and stop the epilepsy.
It's like a smart chip that'll
I mean, there's a whole
react to
brain injuries. Like if someone gets a
any
stroke,
sort of brain anomaly.
ability to speak, that could also be fixed. If you've got like stroke damage, or if you lose, say, muscle control over part of your face or something like that. I think, and then when you get old, you tend to get like Alzheimer's or something like that. Then you lose memory, and this could help you with restoring your memory, that kind of thing.
Restoring memory, and what is happening that's allowing it to do that? Like the wires, these small wires,
Yeah.
stimulating these areas of the brain, and then is it that the areas of the brain are they're losing some sort of electrical force? Like what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
There's some like circuits that are broken, and you can fix those circuits, substitute for those circuits.
Oh yeah,
And so a specific frequency will go through this.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
In that,
It's all the new shit that'll be the technical part. But that's what I'm saying. Like if he knows
little has to be
how to drill holes
these areas of the brain
and run lines
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of work.
underneath like Earthquake City.
Say, we've got a shot at putting in a person in
I could see him running electrical currents and synapses and all that stuff in a place that runs electrical currents and synapses.
and restoring some functionality that they lost.
The fear is that eventually you're gonna have to cut the whole top of someone's head off and put a new top
Sure.
with a whole bunch of wires if you wanna get, the real turbocharged version.
The
Maybe
turbocharged
100
version.
gig of brain stimulation.
I mean, ultimately, if you want to go with full AI symbiosis, you'll probably want to do something like that.
Symbiosis is a scary word when it comes to AI.
It's optional.
It's optional.
Yeah.
Uh,
Once you enjoy the doctrine
full
of
symbiosis is optional. Good to know.
God, it seems very, very unlikely. You don't want to go back to being stupid again. I mean, you literally can fundamentally change the way human
Yeah.
beings interface with each other.
Yes.
Yes.
You wouldn't need to talk.
I'm so scared of that, but so excited about it at the same time. Is that weird?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the paths to, think like, what are, like AI is getting better and better. So now let's assume it's sort of like a benign case
Yeah.
scenario. Even in a benign scenario, we're kind of left behind. We're not along for the ride. We're just too dumb.
Right.
So how do you go along for the ride?
Exactly, man.
So,
People are in the position that they're in for a reason.
and we're already a cyborg.
You and me as well.
Right, because you've got your phone, you've got
So.
your laptop, your electronic devices.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I'd be jumping to get it, but
Today, if
I'm certainly rooting for him.
you don't bring your phone,
I definitely see
it's like
why the trend would go that way.
we're already partly
You know what I'm saying?
partly cyber or an AI symbiote, essentially.
The thought of AI and cyborgs and all that stuff. I mean, technically, it already exists. This is just a higher form. Like for instance, I wear glasses to read. That makes me something like a cyborg or robot because I have artificial appendages that help me, help me live my life better than I could without it. And if this is to help, people with like brain stuff
So this is like
and to just improve the brain altogether.
a computer could do things a million times faster. Or
And yeah,
it's like the AI is like totally free. Like, it's boring.
it kind of makes sense. You can kind of see the trend.
It's not very entertaining. So if you can solve the data rate issue, and especially output and input too, then you can improve the symbiosis that's already occurring between man and machine.
So you can improve it in when you said you won't have to talk to each other anymore. We used to joke around about that. I've joked around about that a million times in this podcast, that one day in the future there's going to come a time where you can read each other's minds.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to interface with each other in some sort of a non-verbal, non-physical
So
way,
yeah,
where you
this guy.
transfer data back and forth to each other without having to actually use your mouth.
Yeah,
And make
exactly.
noises.
Exactly. So what happens let's say you've got some complex idea that you're trying to convey to somebody else, and how do you do that? Well, your brain spends a lot of effort compressing a complex concept into words, and there's a lot of loss, information loss that occurs when compressing a complex concept into words. When you say those words are then interpreted, then they're decompressed by the person who is listening, and they will at best get a very incomplete understanding of what you're trying to convey. It's very difficult to convey a complex concept with precision, because you've got compression, decompression. You may not even have heard all the words correctly, and so communication is difficult. And what we have here is a failure to communicate. The last movie.
Yes, and there's great movie.
Yeah.
And there's an interpretation choose to interpret certain series of words in different ways, and they're dependent upon tone, dependent upon social cues, even facial expressions, sarcasm. There's a lot of variables.
Sarcasm difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I've said is like that there could be potentially a universal language that's created through computers that particularly young kids.
Where am I jumping to? Oh yeah, this is the really dark parts, right? Yeah. So let's get the
I don't know what they're doing.
real shades.
They
Here
know
we
how to do
go.
it really quickly. Like they learn really quickly. They show you how to edit things, and it's if you taught a child from first grade on how to use.
Yeah, man, you'd certainly be able to
and essentially
not even have to remember Photoshop.
and something
You could
done with that interpret
just learn it one time, keep that memory installed, and then just like replay it
for interpretation.
every few months when you pop open Photoshop. Be like, I forgot how to do this,
You know what a person's saying,
and then you just
and you can tell them what you're saying.
just like, oh wait,
and there's no
upload
need
that
for
memory.
noises, no need for mouth noises. No need for.
It's like, oh yeah, that's how I did it. Perfect. Boom.
Sort of evolve.
Instead of having to relearn it, spending the whole day relearning it.
We all agree. We through our cultural dictionary, and
Right.
we agree or certain. We could bypass all that.
Yeah, you can still do it for
For fun.
no reasons.
Right. Like campfires.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need campfire. You don't need to voice marshmallow. You just have one.
Right.
So yeah, you would be able to communicate very quickly and with far more precision ideas. And language would, I'm not sure what would happen to language. Because you could probably, with a situation like this, that you would be able to just, it would be kind of like Matrix. You want to speak in a language in a phone.
Right.
Those wires goes down everywhere.
Right. So.
All right,
at least
where
for the
else?
first
Where else do I have like
iterations,
some
first few
dark
iterations,
clouds?
Like, I know that Google has some of their Pixel buds have the ability to interpret languages in real time. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, you can hear it and it'll play things back to you in whatever language you choose. So it'd be something along those lines
Yeah.
for the first few iterations.
Well, the first few iterations are, what I'm talking about is like in the over time, you know, with a lot of development. The first few iterations, really in the first few versions, all we're going to be trying to do
There we
is
go.
solve brain injuries. So it's, like, don't worry that it's not going to sneak in.
All right, I got that coffee's done brewing for sure.
How many years
I'm 2.5 hours in.
before you don't have to talk?
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end this out once this video's done. I think there's what,
To accelerate
10 more minutes left in this video.
maybe 5 years, 5 to 10 years.
That's quick. That's really quick.
That's the best case scenario.
No talking anymore in 5 years.
Best case scenario.
Yeah.
10 to 20.
I've always speculated that aliens could potentially be
All right.
in the future. Because you look at like the size of their heads and the fact that they have very little muscle.
Yeah.
And they don't use their mouth anymore.
So far, so good.
I mean, the archetype
Yeah, that's the thing with all these markers. They start to muddy up. You know, everything starts to get a bit muddy. But then once I get to the black ink and the micro pens and I start to like get the detail in there, everything sharpens right back up, and then it's just beautifully rendered. So yeah, we're in the middle points
Goes on online, and then we slowly start
of all this. Let me see what.
this new way of being.
Oh, I forgot to
where we don't
render
use
out this
muscles
smoke.
anymore.
That's what I
We
could be
have this
doing.
gigantic
Here we
head.
go.
We can talk without words.
You can also
So
save
yeah,
state.
let's get this smoke. That'll be the last thing I do on this video, I guess, is render out this.
Video game.
Whoa. like if you want to swap from Windows 95
Well,
to like you can,
a little bit from that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think we are Windows 95 right now.
From a future perspective, probably. But yeah, I mean, you could save state and restore that state into a biological being if you wanted to in the future. In principle, it's like from a physics standpoint that prevents this. You'd be a little different, but then you're also a little different when you wake up in the morning from yesterday, and you're a little different. In fact, if you say like you 5 years ago versus you today, 5 big difference.
Yeah.
substantially you. I mean, you'd certainly think you're you.
But the idea of saving yourself.
That's an interesting
and
concept, that
transforming
you're
it
always
back
going to be
into
you
sort of a
because you
biological
always
state.
feel like you.
Like you can hang out with 30-year-old you.
Because even though you're a different self than you were years ago, yeah, you still feel like you.
I mean, these things
So just because you'd be,
you can record videos on your phone.
something else with this chip,
Right.
After
you'd still feel like you. That's interesting.
So
That's what I mean, man. That's how you know you're a smart person, when you're able to communicate ideas like that,
like whatever.
simply.
You could recall everything, but just like it's a movie, including all the entire sensory experience,
Emotions.
everything,
Everything.
and play it back.
Do you think
you
you'll be able to
can
share
edit
it?
it. Yeah,
So you can change your past?
you can change what you think was your past. Yeah,
You could change what you think was your
it
past.
could be a replayed memory.
It could be.
Yeah.
It may
Talk
be.
about living with no
Let's be
regrets.
honest. This being a real
No
thing.
regrets.
More than 50%.
There's no way to quantify with accuracy here.
Right, but roughly. If you just had just gut instinct.
Well, I don't have a neural link in my brain, so I'd say right now 0%. But at the point at which you do have a neural link, then it rises above 0%.
Mm.
It's quality insurance with affordable rates. It turns out this isn't a sleeping bag.
All right.
The idea that we're experiencing some sort of a preserved memory is, even though it's still the same, it's not comforting. Right? For some reason, when people talk about simulation theory, they talk about the potential for this currently being a simulation. Even though your life might be wonderful, you might be in love, you might love your career, you might have great friends, but it's not comforting to know that this experience somehow or another doesn't exist in a material form that you can knock on.
Feels real.
It feels real, but if it's not, but the idea that it's not is so, for some strange reason disconcerting.
Well, yeah, sure. Should be disconcerting. Because then if this is not real, what is?
Right.
There's that old sort of
Alright, so that's gonna make me want
experiment of like,
to.
how do you know how to bring in a band? And here's the thing, you are bringing a band, and that band is your soul.
Yes.
And everything you see, feel, hear, everything, all your senses are electrical signals. Everything is an electrical signal to a brain event. That is your soul.
And all your hormones, all your neurotransmitters, all these things are drugs. Adrenaline's a drug. Dopamine's a drug. You're a drug factory. You're constantly changing your state with love and oxytocin.
Is this the one?
And beauty
Sure.
changes your state. Great music changes your state.
What's this color? Light flesh.
And here's another sort of interesting idea that makes sense. You say, where did
There we go.
consciousness rise? Well, assuming you believe that
Get some of these trees.
then the universe started off as basically quarks and leptons, and so it became hydrogen and helium, lithium, like basically almost a periodic table. But it was like mostly hydrogen, basically. And then over a long period of time, 13.8 billion years later, that hydrogen became sentient. So where where is the consciousness? What's the line of consciousness and not consciousness between hydrogen and here?
But when do we call it consciousness? I
Wow.
was watching a video today that we played on a podcast earlier of a monkey riding a motorcycle down the street, jumps off the motorcycle and tries to steal a baby.
Yeah, so that one. They were
Yeah.
narrow.
What is that monkey conscious? It seems like it is. It seems like it had a plan. It was riding a fucking motorcycle. Jumped off the motorcycle to try to steal a baby. Seems
Yeah.
pretty.
The one that just dragged baby down the street pretty far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems pretty conscious. Right?
there's definitely some degree of consciousness there.
Yeah, it's not a worm.
There's definitely a degree of consciousness there.
It's gonna keep going.
This guy, I love the way he
That's the
talks.
real concern when people think about the potential future versions of human beings, especially when you consider symbiotic relationship to artificial intelligence, it will be unrecognizable. That one day we'll be so far removed from what this is, we'll look back on this the way we look back now, simple organisms that we evolved from. And then it won't be that far in the future that we do have this view back.
Well, I hope consciousness propagates in the future and gets more sophisticated and complex, and that it understands the questions to ask about the universe.
Do you think that's the case? As a human being, as yourself, you're clearly trying to make conscious decisions to be a better version of you. Right? This is the idea of like getting rid of your possessions and realizing that you're trying to, like, I don't like this, I will try to improve this. I'll try to do a better version of the way you interface with reality. That this is always the way things are. If you're moving in some sort of a direction where you're trying to improve things, you're always going to move into this new place when you look back in the old place and you go, oh, I was doing it wrong back then.
Yep.
So this is an accelerated version of that. A super accelerated version of that.
I mean, you don't always improve, but you can aspire to improve, and you can aspire to be less wrong.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think the tools of physics are very powerful. Just assume you're wrong and you're asked for results, but that's wrong. I don't think you're gonna, if you succeed.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
If you can succeed in doing that's wrong, most of the time you're pretty great.
That's a great way for you to aspire to be less wrong.
Yep.
But then when, people look back in nostalgia about simpler times, there's that too. It's very romantic and exciting to look back on campfires.
But you can still have a campfire.
Yes.
Yeah.
But will you appreciate it when you're a super nerd? Skull cap in place of the top of your head, and it's interfacing with the international language.
Dude, fire is still dope.
Enjoys communication.
All you gotta do is start up a grill.
Sure.
You'd be like, yo, look at that fire. Roast a marshmallow. Fire's still good. Well, thanks for that, Volcom, man. This was a hell of a stream. Hell of a conversation we had here, man. I'm glad you stopped by and discovered me, doing all this stuff. And I'm glad you like it, Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about it and elaborate on it some more. And yeah, man, I might come back on here one or two more times today, depending on what happens after this. But yeah, I'm gonna call it quits on this stream. I'm going on 2 hours 40 minutes, so got a whole lot done. I can't even remember where I started. I think I just had to start with like the dark green, from like this part up, and then from there just kind of escalated to, all right, what do I want to get done? What can I get done? And while I figure out the colors that I want to use for like smaller places, this is a destroyed city, so that'll be simple. But like a regular city, I don't know if I want to go the same route that I did with the ice places, the ice environments, where the concept there was like favelas in the Mount Everest. So I don't know if I want to go that route, super colorful with it, since this is like a different society, but it's still, So we'll see. We'll see what I do. Maybe I'll figure out the colors that I want to make all these cities and roads and everything like that, and ports. And yeah, I'll be back with the colored pencils and doing all that stuff later on. But again, thank you very much. I'm G Mr. Drew. That's at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Go follow, like, and subscribe. I'm posting stuff every day, all the time. And gmrdrew.art, my website. Go check me out. You can contact me through there. You can follow, find me on everywhere that I'm at through there. Everything that I'm doing, merch, all that. And then, yeah, man, this is the Andrew Glowczewski experience. Ripped off from the Joe Rogan experience. which was ripped off from the Jimi Hendrix Experience episode 88. Map design stuff. All right, man. Talk to you later.